Hello, I'm Execunet Executive Director Lauren Franzoni. Welcome to Execunet TV. In 2009, an industry called Clean Green Tech jumped to the #2 spot of industries with the greatest demand for executive leaders. What is this new industry? We sat down with Joel Makower, Chairman and Executive Editor of Greener World Media during the recent World Innovation Forum, and asked this 20-year green business analyst to explain. Can you give me an idea about what is practically and really behind the growth of career opportunities, particularly at the senior level, in the so-called sort of green, clean tech and greening of our economy?
I've been watching this field for 20 years, the field of corporate environmental sustainability and strategy, and we've watched it go through 3 phases. First, starting with the idea of just compliance, first do no harm. How do you not only obey the law, but stop some of the things that the public thought was egregious, even if it was legal? And then in the 90s, we sort of got into this area of doing the right thing, doing well by doing good, which is really about how companies can increase their efficiency and make some bottom line improvements that have some reputational benefits. And where we are now is it's not simply about how does green improve the bottom line, but how does green grow the top line? How does this become a platform for innovation and new products and services? And when you think about it in those terms, and along that same trajectory, we've seen the environmental function inside companies start with the environmental department, the EH&S, environmental health and safety. But now you can find the environmental function pretty much everywhere, in operations and facilities and procurement, in supply chain, in human resources, in finance, in marketing and communications, real estate, fleets, and on and on. And that's created opportunities for pretty much everybody to be part of the greening of companies. I like to say that environment is way too important to be left just to environmental departments.
Now, there's also, of course, now an industry of products and services growing that are considered fall into that category of clean green tech. What will that industry need to really develop and form as a force?
Well, that's a very broad term, clean green tech, because we're talking about energy, water, materials, transportation, food, shelter. I mean, pretty much everything it has some clean or green analog these days. And so obviously what it takes each of those, it has a different regulatory environment, has a different market drivers, different profit margins and financial modeling. And that's part of the excitement, is figuring out how green fits in to these things. And in some industries, it really is going to be much more regulatory driven. And how do you get so far ahead of the regulations, as some companies want to do, that the regulations become irrelevant? Or how do you skate just ahead of the wave, or maybe ride the wave? Every company has a different tolerance for that. So we're talking about so many parts of our lives, and regulation is just one part of it. There's also the market part. Do you lead the market or follow the market? A lot of companies say, well, there's no demand for green products, so we're not going to go there. But if you think about it, there was no demand for buying music online. It's something that we created because it was a better way of doing things. And that's also the other opportunity, is that green will succeed, whether we're talking about B2B or B2C. Green will win only when green equals better. And better can be measured in lots and lots of different ways: cheaper to buy, cheaper to operate, higher performance, longer lasting, repairable, fixable, locally sourced, cooler for my image, healthier for my family. And it depends on the product and its value proposition. But to the large part, green products have not been better. They've cost more. You have to send away to get them, and they didn't work well. And so this is where the innovation will come into play, and where we need smart, creative, innovative people and opportunities to figure out how do you bring in the regulatory piece and the business piece and make those work together.